This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another Farming Simulator 22 Map First Impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at the Forgotten Hills. But before that, this video is brought to you by Walter Moss and Farm Sim Canuck. Thank you for being farm barons. The Forgotten Hills map can be found at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. Let me read you some of the description. On the edge of a small village, there is an uncontaminated territory where the land has remained intact and nature has taken over. Turning this hilly territory into a small farm or a large farm is a challenge that awaits you on this map. So this is a wilderness style map, kind of a create your own map, if you will. Your career will be exciting and construction of your agriculture empire will have no limits. This map's features include 8 base camps for early career. Now, I'm not really sure what that means because I don't think there are 8 buildable areas. So we'll have to explore that a little bit. Vehicle and pet shop located in the center of the map. Large forest areas, wide choice of placeable objects to create your own map. Red and white grape vineyards. This map is ready for precision farming with a custom soil map. This map also has a custom growth schedule. And we have alfalfa, triticale, and white grapes added as far as additional crops. Let's go ahead and load in. We are going to use some mods. We typically use to take a look at maps. That is additional field info, additional game settings, animal food overview, field lease, field calculator, and precision farming. Now, I will tell you, if you load this map up in farm manager mode or start from scratch, you will find the main starting area is completely void of all buildings and starting machinery. And there is kind of a secondary area that you can sell buildings on. That area is built out exactly how you're going to see it here in New Farmer mode. So here we are in New Farmer mode, as I mentioned, and our starting area includes a farmhouse, large shed, smaller shed. We have a rather used silo, and there we go, bale storage. That is pretty much our starting farm area. Let's go ahead and take a look at the PDA. As I said, this is basically a wilderness style map. We do have a few fields that are predefined, but all of this light green is grassy area that is sparsely populated with trees. We do have some forest areas kind of scattered around, but a lot of this is going to be rolling grassland. We do have all the standard crops available to us in FS22. In addition, we have alfalfa, triticale, white grapes, as I mentioned, as well as if you have the premium expansion, which is not required. I do want to bring that up because there was a question in a previous map video recently as to if premium expansion is required on any of these maps. It is not required, but if you happen to have premium expansion, then of course you will have your red beets, carrots, and parsnips added as crop types. Go ahead and take a look at our lands area. You'll see we have quite the varying buyable lands. We have nice even-sized square areas over here to the east. We've got a couple small areas in the southeast, and then we have one large area over here to the kind of the southwest. $530,000 to buy that, 174 acres in size. We start out by owning Farmland ID 18, Farmland ID 2, as well as Farmland ID 19, which includes the second buyable area, or the second possible farm area, if you will. Right now it includes a silo, but also if you go and sell the buildings here and the deco objects, you'll have an open area that you can do whatever you want with. Let's go and take a look at our farmland lease screen. This is going to show us all of the buyable farmlands, how large those farmlands are, if those farmlands include any field or fields, what is included. Then lastly, how much is any one of these farmlands going to cost us? You can see that overall the farmlands are very, very affordable given the sizes. So farmland is pretty cheap on this particular map. Take a look at our field calculator screen. This is going to show us the specific sizes of each particular field. We only have 8 predefined fields, and maybe that's what map with 8 base camps means. So base camps must mean fields. So we have 8 predefined fields at the start, all fairly small. Couple up there, 4.72 hectares and 3.55 for field 6 and 7, respectively. Let's go ahead and take and see how the custom soil map looks here on these fields. Of course, we're not going to get a good idea as to how the custom soil map looks across the entirety of the map because we only have 8 fields, but at least we can see how they apply to those. As you can see here, the majority of the soil map is going to be sandy loam and silty clay. We've got a combination of sandy loam and silty clay on fields 6 and 2. Field 7 is predominantly loam. Meanwhile, field 4 and 8 are almost exclusively sandy loam. Taking a look at our custom crop counter, you'll see that we do have the ability to potentially double crop because we could harvest our wheat, barley, oat, and canola in June, and then plant our corn or soybeans down in June, and then harvest off the same fields in the same year our corn and soybeans, possibly as late as November. We also have our custom soil, our custom growth schedule for our new crops in alfalfa, triticale, and white grapes. Taking a look down through our prices screen, though, we do have a little bit of a different story. In fact, we do not have the ability to sell cotton on this particular map, even though we do have a growth schedule for it, and it is an available crop. Also, in addition, we do not have the ability to sell our eggs, wool, or milk without putting down additional sell points. And then the trend continues because with respect to all of our base game productions, we once again do not have the ability to sell any of those without putting down our own sell point. What we do have the ability to do is we do have the ability to buy and sell bulk lime, as well as to sell our stones. Taking a look at our new crops, we have alfalfa, alfalfa hay. I'm not really sure what makes alfalfa straw. Typically, you don't have alfalfa hay and straw. You might have like alfalfa grass or alfalfa hay, but I don't know what alfalfa straw might be. We have our Triticale. We have solid organic fertilizer. This is a fill type that we can create with a placeable production. We also have our white grapes. We have our olive oil. Again, no production sell points for that. No production sell points for our red grape juice or our white grape juice. So white grapes are even a new crop. But we do not have the ability to get rid of that. And we have a custom production that we could place that does produce white grape juice. We have then no sell points for any of the platinum expansion production items. And as we have seen in all other maps to this point, after the premium expansion has launched, we do indeed have the ability to sell all the premium expansion productions and crops because it seems like those are being injected into sell points that are also set up for your grains. And then lastly, if you are playing with pumps and hoses, we do have a way of getting rid of your separated manure. Taking a look at our starting fleet in New Farm mode, we do own all of the equipment. Some of it is well maintained. Some of it does have a bit of operating hours and need a little bit of maintenance. So therefore it is not really the best as far as resale value. We do not have any animals pre-placed on the map, but we do have some custom animal pens. We'll be taking a closer look at those later on in the video. We do have contracts available on fields that we do not own. We do not own any production chains. In fact, the only production on the map is a BGA, and there are 30 collectibles also scattered around the map. Taking a look at our starting fleet, we start out with the Fendt Fabric 515 Tuning 190. That is a modded tractor, so it's a Steyr 8150. We have then our Nova 330 Harvester that's paired up with the PowerStream 500 grain header, as well as the Corn Champion 5-row corn header. We have our Welger DK115 trailer. We have the TMS2 300D mulcher. We have our Apelago disc harrow. We have the AgroSim subsoiler, and this is a modded variant of that subsoiler. Looks like this is set up to work possibly with as a plow function. Therefore, you can create fields with that. We have our Power Harrow Cedar combination in Nordstein HK25 NS3030. We have the Dalbo Power Roll 1230 HD. We also have the Breedile K105 fertilizer and lime spreader. We have the Massey Ferguson small baler and the MF1840. For our small tractor, we have the Hauer XB190 front loader arms. No front loader tools for the front loader arms. Then we have a 1500 and a 650 kilogram front weight. Take a look at our mods and DLCs. You do see that we do have some modded equipment. We have that modded Fendt 515 tuning medium tractor. We have a modified grape harvester that's set up to work with our white grapes, as well as a modified trailer that's going to hold both normal grapes and white grapes. Then we have a white grape pruner. Then we have two modified subsoilers in the AgroSim 3 meter and 4 meter variety. With respect to our starting farm, as I mentioned, got a fairly small starting farm. We do have some bale storage over here. Trying to get that to pop up how many bales it will store, but I don't see that coming up. So our bale storage, we have our farmhouse with our sleep and wardrobe triggers. A large equipment shed with some of our starting equipment pre-placed. Another equipment shed. And then we have our silo and our tractor. And this silo is going to be able to store wheat, barley, oat, canola, sorghum, sunflower, soybeans, corn, triticale, alfalfa, as far as our available crops. Now let's go and take a look at build mode, because we do have some custom buildings and placeables that are available. With respect to sheds, we do have some custom sheds that are tied to the map. So here we have a shed with vehicle workshop. We have our barn, kind of a storage building, garage storage building, and an auto-load bale storage. So 250 bales or pallets are going to be able to be stored in here. We do have our custom silo. It's going to hold 1.2 million liters worth of product. Then we have a manure heap and bunker silo. We have our placeable farmhouse for $20,000. And then let's take a look at our custom placeable productions. We have a placeable BGA. The BGA is the only production that is pre-existing on the map. But we can put down another one if we wanted to. We have custom grape juice production. And you can see this is set up to make our regular grape juice, as well as our white grape juice and what I'm going to call grape pominance, or basically grape residue. It's the residual of the juicing process that is custom to this map. Then we have a grain mill. We have a dairy. We have a modified olive mill. And once again, this olive mill is set up a little bit custom. It's going to produce olive oil. And then we have this olive pominance, or basically olive residue, again, as a byproduct of producing the oil. And then we have custom production of compost and fertilizers. And it would have been really, really nice, in my opinion, to have, at a minimum, these 3 custom productions pre-placed, because they are unique to the map. And why not show them off as opposed to expecting the player to invest in these? With respect to sell points, we do have a custom sawmill sell point that we can put down. We have a custom fertilizer shop and a sale of products. So let's go ahead and put that down. We have our silo purchase of fertilizer and sale products. Let's put that down. We have our farmer's market. And we have a barn sell point. That's going to be for all of our bale and forage style items. We have a custom greenhouse. Just going to put that down. Take a look at that. We have then modified red grapes. And we have modified white grapes that we can pre-place. And then we have some custom animal areas. So I'm going to go ahead and put those down as well. So we have our custom cow stable. It's going to have 80 cows. We have a custom pig sty. It's going to hold 90 pigs. We have a custom sheep stable. That's going to hold 48 sheep. And then as far as deco items, under others, we have a multitude of deco items that we can put down. We've got lots of deco buildings. We've got then deco objects galore. We have some deco vehicles that we can put down as well. We have a custom street light. And then under landscaping, we have a fair bit of custom ground textures. So let's take a closer look at those also. So we have our animal mud. Well, let me go find some land I own. Jeez. We have our animal mud. We have asphalt rough. Asphalt alpine. We have our cobblestone. We have concrete. Concrete bricks. It's basically stamped concrete. We have concrete tiles. Kind of a darker stamped concrete texture. We have a dirt mix. We have farm. Okay. Then we have forest leaves. Grass. Grass dirt. Grass cliff. Grass dry. Grass patchy. We have gravel. We have gravel mix. Gravel alpine. Gravel dirt. Gravel dust. Gravel grass. Gravel moss. Pathway. Pathway gravel. Riverbed. Road field. Road forest. Mountain rock. Mountain rock dark. And wet mud. Then we move on to our plants, because we do have a fair bit of custom plants that are also part of this map. Let's place some of those. We have our Deco 1, Deco 2, 3, and 4. We move on with aptly named Deco 5. And don't be surprised if we have Deco 6, 7, 8, 9, Deco 10. Guess what? There's over 11 Deco items. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and the list just keeps going on and on with these wonderfully descriptive names. So 19 different custom plant textures as well. Let's go take a look at those, because we do have quite the list to look at here. It's nice and refreshing to have wilderness maps that have such a variety of paintable ground textures, as well as paintable plant and foliage textures. Because, of course, the idea behind a wilderness map is that we have the ultimate in flexibility. That's our forest ground. Then we move into the various grasses. And our cobblestone, but that was called something else. Like grass cliff or something. Gravel. Gravel mix. That was alpine gravel. Then we have our mix of gravel dust and gravel grass. This looks like forest road or something. Then we move into our paintable textures. Would have been nice if these were a bit more uniquely named, in my opinion. So when it comes down to, painting these, I think you're going to be more apt to remember kind of a more meaningful name as opposed to just, oh, that was Deco 8 that I painted down. And there you go. Now let's go and kind of just check out these productions that we have put down. So we have our grape juice production. It's going to take regular grapes and make raisins. Then we have our red grape juice, and then grape mark or grape pomegranates, grape residue. Same with our white grapes. Sadly, though, we don't have sell points built in for red grape juice or white grape juice. Really, especially since white grape juice is custom to the map. Would have been nice to have seen that down here. We have our olive oil. So we have our olives are going to make olive oil and sansa, which I'm going to basically reference as basically olive residue as well. Olive pomegranates, basically the fleshy part after extracting the oil. Then we have our pomegranates oil, which is going to make olive oil and pomegranates also. Here we have our production of compost and fertilizer, and we have quite the list of various ways of getting compost. So we have grape mark and water. We have our sansa and water, straw water and silage additive. We have grass and water. We have hay and water. We have wood chips and water, chaff and water, forage in water. We have chopped sugar beets and water, alfalfa and water, alfalfa hay and water. And then we have compost, silage additive and water to produce manure, or compost, silage additive and water to produce solid fertilizer. Then we have a custom greenhouse. It's going to take water, solid fertilizer, and seed to make tomatoes, lettuce, or strawberries. Now, with respect to our custom animals, since we do have some new fill types, let's just go ahead and check and see what the food requirements are for these animals on the map. So with respect to cows, we've got total mixed rations for 100% weight to food, hay or alfalfa straw. I think this is supposed to be alfalfa grass. quite possibly. Or this is supposed to be alfalfa grass. This is supposed to be alfalfa hay because of this. But at any rate, alfalfa straw and hay is going to give you 80% grass, or alfalfa hay is going to give you 40%, and then mineral feed. We have sheep, we have grass and alfalfa hay, and hay and alfalfa straw. Pigs, we're going to have our normal pig food combination, including, again, if you have the premium expansion, then carrots, parsnips, and red beets are going to be available as root crops. Horses, we've got then alfalfa and alfalfa or hay and alfalfa straw, grass and alfalfa hay as far as our horses go. And of course, again, with premium expansion, we have our root crops there. And then we have our chickens. We have wheat, barley, oat, and triticale for our grain. And then for our protein, we have soybeans, corn, sorghum, sugar beet cut, canola, and sunflowers. Let's get a little altitude, and then we can start really kind of taking a look around at the wilderness portion of the map. Vast majority of the map is covered in grass, as we can see. Now, over here to the eastern side of the map, we do have some high tension power lines running through. Power towers, as I like to refer to them here in these map videos. These power towers do have collisions, so you will need to avoid these. You will not be able to drive through these, and your AI help after you create a field. If a field is running through these, the AI help will avoid those. Kind of see the patchy forest areas just north of the starting farm, which we can sell everything on. So everything that is pre-placed on the starting farm area, we can sell. So with respect to the farms being customizable, yes, they are completely customizable. To the north of that, we have our vehicle shop. We're not going to do the drive around because everything is kind of centrally located here. But we have our vehicle shop. Let's go ahead and pick up our Mahindra. We'll see where then vehicles spawn. So they spawn right here. Large area for them to spawn in at. We do have a workshop trigger inside. Indicated well. And then all of our sell points are basically located right here in a centralized area. So we first come to a fuel pump to be buying diesel. Then we have our farmer's market sell point. We have the barn sell point for our hay and grass. We have our BGA. We have our sawmill. We have the sawmill buy point and wood chip point there. We have our fertilizer shop for selling fertilizer and products. Then we have our animal dealer. That is basically everything that you've got going on here. Over here on the western side of the map, we do have a silo purchase of fertilizer and sale of products, as well as the fuel pump. Here we have our BGA. We do have 2 3-sided silage bunkers. You can buy the BGA for $335,000. Once we own the BGA, can we sell it? That is the question. And the answer is yes, we can. We also have the ability to sell our 3-sided bunkers, which is good to see, as well as the street lights, which are right here in this area as well. So if you wanted to, you could get rid of the BGA entirely, put your own production down here. Might I suggest the grapes or the compost facility, or put your own production down here with respect to the placeable BGA, We have our animal dealer sell point. Then we have our sawmill, so we have our wood sell point. We have our wood chip sell point there. Let's make our way across to the western side of the map. Just on the other side of field 8, we have this kind of deco area built out. And again, it does have a fuel buy point. It has lots of decorative objects placed here. All of these decorative objects can be sold. So if you wanted to, you could sell all the buildings at this area. You could sell all of the deco objects at this area and have yourself another whole area to build a farm out at on the western side. Kind of real close to the lightly populated and lightly placed forest. Overall, this map should run extremely well on just about any system that can run Farm Sim 22. With respect to our scoring metrics, we're going to be giving the map a full point with respect to production being built in or areas set aside for such, because it is a wilderness map. Basically, the entire map is set aside for the placement of things. And we do have a BGA pre-placed. We are going to be taking 3/4 of a point. Massive deduction with respect to points, with respect to being able to sell all the base game crops, animal outputs, and base game productions. Because we do not have the ability to sell cotton, none of the animal outputs in eggs, wool, or milk, and also no base game production item can be sold. In fact, we're missing the ability to sell some of the custom production items that are included in the map, like white grapes. The farms can indeed be customized, so we're going to be giving the map a full point there. With respect to buildings being using the new texturing technique as well as ground textures, we are giving the map a full point there as well. While lots of these buildings are kind of reskinned, they are working well with respect to the building textures from FS22, or they are FS22 buildings themselves. And then player and interactive areas being clearly marked. We're going to be giving the map a full point there also, because all of these interactive areas, all of these sell points are indeed clearly marked. So that's going to be giving this map a score of 4.25 out of 5. Just imagine what this map could have achieved if we could have sold most, if not all, of the various things that had been excluded. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with respect to the Forgotten Hills, and what do you think of wilderness maps in general. And until next time, happy farming.